We're giving our audience a chance to join us. Hey, it's your main man, Mega, co-host of the Vintage House Show, with another incredible episode of the culture, the business, the history that is house music. Chicago born and bred. This is the genre that we all know and love. And tonight's special guest to share some of that love about the culture, history, and business of house music is the one, the only. I am so thrilled to have join us Julie McKnight. Julie, how are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
We're thrilled to have you, and you are someone who has certainly contributed to this culture in this incredible genre of house music, and so it is an honor. We're a little delayed in getting started because I'm going to blame it on what we call in Chicago the hawk. It is cold as all get out here in Chicago. The wind chill was minus 12 below today. But you know what? It's heating up here in the Vintage House virtual studio because
That's right.
we have the one and only Julie McKnight. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you were able to join us. Who's that over your shoulder there? That looks like
That's Marvin.
I thought so.
That's Marvin. Yeah, I have to give a shout. Thank you to my brother Victor Brooks for allowing me to take over his Positivity Posse studio tonight.
Oh, well, shout them out. That's all right.
So it feels
good. It's wonderful to have some sibling love and support. And again, it's wonderful to have you on our show. We are the primary show talking about the history, business, and culture of house music. We have a repository of stories from incredible artists like yourself, and we are making that repository available for scholars, authors, documentarians, filmmakers,
yes,
other radio shows. So, are you ready to contribute to that history?
absolutely.
All right. Well, we start with the basics. You got to share where you're from originally, and of course, how you got into realizing you had a vocal gift. So let's start with the first. Where you're from?
Well, I was born in Pennsylvania, and then my dad's a pastor, so I was all over the place, and so I claimed both Memphis, Tennessee, which is where I moved at 3.
Okay.
And I was there till 16, and then I moved to South Central LA,
Yeah.
127th Street. So I was there for 15 years. So I got both. I got down home, and I got LA. So, but now I'm in North Carolina. But that's my progression.
You are. Did you ever run for like Miss USA or Miss America? Because you've hit coast to coast.
I'm too much of a tomboy. They would have been like, hit her.
Oh, not.
I would have missed too many football games to do the stuff I'd have to do.
Not at all. We're glad to have you, settle down for a minute just so you could join us here in Chicago. But I spent some time in North Carolina. My family and I, we were in Charlotte.
Yes.
Is that where you are now?
No, I'm in Raleigh.
You're in Raleigh.
But,
okay.
I got a lot of house Charlotte family down there, so I'm back and forth there a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I have family in Raleigh still, and certainly musical family in Charlotte. I was so mad that the house movement sort of took hold in Charlotte after I left.
Right.
I was mad about
Doing
it.
it. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, you all are doing it. My man Gary Wallace, Gary
Yes.
Jackmaster Wallace there with his release sets. Absolutely.
Yes.
He's a friend of this show, as well as somebody I worked with quite a bit earlier on in my time as a house music publicist. So we've got some connection going.
Yes. Perfect.
Talk to me about Memphis, because is that where you sort of spent your childhood?
Yeah, I was there. Like I said, we moved there when I was 3, and I was there till 16. So I was able to get all the Bill Street and the blues and the jazz and the soul and just the music in Memphis is not, you got the headquarters of Church of God in Christ there. Come on, it was amazing to grow up in Memphis, Tennessee. Amazing. That's home number one.
Okay.
And that's where, other than just in my household, where the music roots it's all over the place. You can't help it in Memphis. So, and, not to mention, I just be able to go over Peak in Graceland every now and then and hang out.
Right.
I loved it. I did. I loved it.
Was Elvis still in?
My start.
Was Elvis still in the building when you were there?
He was kind of in the building.
Okay.
But just the fact that we knew that Elvis lived in Memphis. It wasn't like, oh, that's Elvis. Like now, you kind of, oh yeah, I know I'm gonna see Big Daddy Kane when I go down there to the store here in Wake Forest. Even now, I'm like, But so we knew we had that celebrity there and that one there. So he was a little bit in the building when I was still a little girl. Well, I was a teen by then.
And so talk to us about high school, because we know that a lot of talent is sort of realized around that coming of age time, right? Where you're realizing that, you are who you are in life.
Right. That's the only way I made it through high school. I will be the first to say I would have never made it through high school without, first and foremost, in Memphis, freshman in high school, with my musical teacher, Mr. Anderson, got me. It's the only reason I would stay at school.
Okay.
By the time I got to LA and went to, shout out, George Washington Preparatory High School, the only prep high school in South Central even now. And, we were killing it.
You were killing it how?
Well, not the usual way, because believe me, I was there during that whole era.
Okay.
The movies were made up. I'm thankful for that too. But
yes.
Because we were, they didn't expect a black and brown prep school out of the hood to know anything about the arts. They thought the only thing we were going to do was the whiz, which we did, and because we definitely made a point of doing all of the productions that were for us, because no one else was doing them. But then we'd mess them up and do the rest of them. We would do the West Side Stories, and we were doing Shakespeare. We were doing, and they started, the competitions would happen, because at that time Hollywood High was where everyone went, to do what they did. And then here's all these little black and brown kids coming from South Central and winning competitions and getting asked to sing for things, and for government events and all. So that I said, oh, I can go through high school. I'm gonna make it.
Well, we're not at all surprised by that, because we are a culture, right? We set the culture. But tell me, you skim the surface on me, Julie. You gotta tell me what some of the roles were that you played, especially if you did the Wiz. Now, what was your role?
When I think of home, I was Dorothy.
See what I'm saying? The people, you gonna have the people watching just speculating about that. I knew it because I did my
But
research.
Dorothy, I did, and I did. But you know what? I did Greece, and I did Sandy for a minute. But you know what? I wanted to be Reza.
I'm impressed. She's got
Larry said,
range.
"You don't want to be Sandy." I was like, "No, I want that," because it felt more. It's the same as even today. It's hard to do or sing or do things that you don't feel like them. So for me, it didn't matter that that was the lead part. That that other one was her songs, even though it wasn't that many. Just who she was is what I felt. So, but we did all of the stuff, the Little Shop of Horror things, and all that was out in the '80s and early '90s, and it was a ball.
So, would it be fair to say that I'm sitting here in the presence of a triple threat? Do you have all that going on for you?
I think I know I enjoyed it. I know I
Yes.
enjoyed it. Theater is what I was going to do.
Okay.
I was like, oh, please. I was going to be Irene Care. I was going to be Coco. I'm moving to New York. I'm going to live in a house with a bunch of other artists, and we're just going to do what we want to do. Now, that didn't happen. But theater is what I wanted to do. That was the passion initially. And, didn't happen, but it's okay.
So
it's going to happen. I'm still going to do Broadway. I don't care if I'm a grandma.
All right.
I am a grandma. I'm a Gigi. But I mean, if I have to play a grandma, I'm doing it.
It's never too late. As long as we have a breath to breathe, we have the possibility of doing what our heart desires. And so,
absolutely, I believe that. You will see.
I'm watching. And we've got plenty of our Vintage House show audience tuned in as well. And I know they want to know, well, at least I want to know how the church played a part in your discovery of your gift, because you said you're the daughter of a preacher, right?
Yeah, and like you said, in our culture, church is where you just sang. Everybody sang. You learned harmony in church because the entire congregation was singing. It wasn't just the choir was singing together. And my dad started a really small church thing, Breath of Life Church in Memphis, Tennessee. And we had that kind of congregation where my father, I just love him, was a minister where he would say in the middle of anything, just get up, somebody get up and sing. It wasn't like we have to do. No, whatever was moving. So our entire church family would sing together. The choir was there. My mom sang because I grew up thinking just everybody sang.
Yes.
Everybody in my family did. And everybody in my church. And I went on to college, Oakwood College in Huntsville, where everybody sang. Like everybody doesn't just sing in the world, But church was that part for me. It's my first solo. I was like 9, and it was like it was. But then I thought, I did it, but that was all church. The support you had at church, the other artists that you had. And I call them art. People don't think you should. Your gift is from God. But you're not so much a performer, but these are artists. That's their gift.
That's right.
That's their gift, and he gave it to us. So I mean, I would just sit and watch. Like I said, being in Memphis, I can remember it was nothing to go down and just hear the Clark sisters singing. The church was down the street.
I was just about to ask, who were some of your early gospel influences besides the Clark sisters? Okay.
Out the gate. Of course, the Hawkins singers, those earlier ones that were that type of progressive, where back then they were the ones who were moving out of just your traditional gospel.
Okay.
Then then other than my family, my aunt Eleanor Wright and her trio, the Blend Wrights. Y'all look them up if you want to. The Emotions credit them for their harmonies, and Nancy Wilson loved my aunt Eleanor. These are people that were early influences for me, like my mom, my brother, my uncles. It's just I was blessed to have them, but in the industry, by the time Andre came out, and then of course the Clark sisters, Shirley Caesar, we had that for many years, the Hawkins, but by the time the Winans started showing up,
Yes.
and then Commission started showing up, and then CC, what? I was like, who is this? Who is she? I had Whitney, I had her, but then I had CC. I was like, I thought there was only one who did this. No, more of us can do this, so those are the ones that stick in my mind, is on my church side.
Okay. On the church side. So let's flip on over to the secular side of music. Who were some of those influences?
That is too many, because I just grew up in a house where my parents played everything. Even though he was a minister, our house constantly had music from morning to night. And it could be anything. It could be jazz. It could be classical. It could be funk. It could be rock. It was bossa nova. It was, African music. It was soca. It was my parents played everything. I mean, when I tell you everything, so I grew up listening to everything. And early on, I heard more music than people singing vocally. But because it was mostly my dad's favorite, I heard men. So I grew up hearing, Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett, and, the Nat King Coles. You had the Mel Tormes, and I had a lower register, so they, I could relate to them. And then I discovered, Nancy Wilson, and I fell in, who led me to Dinah Washington, who led me to Bessie Smith, and I had to go all, and I was like, oh, I'm one of those heavier tone, but between Donnie, it was too many. It was too. So I can't really look to say, oh, that's who I thought. Oh man, that's the one. Yeah, I'm just a gumbo.
Love it. I love that. We're speaking to the gumbo of musical taste and appeal and inspiration right now. Miss Julie McKnight on tonight's episode of the Vintage House Show. Please drop in the comments with your questions for Julie, because I'm sure. She's opening it up. She's opening it up. I thought this interview was going to take a while for you to get, sort of warmed up to the thing.
No. This is
it. And so, of course, we just went through some of what influenced your musical journey. But of course, this being the Vintage House Show, we're not just about house music. We're about house culture. Talk to us, if you will, about why this genre of music sort of appealed to you, especially given all of those influences, right, that were played in your home, where you were influenced in the church. Why this? This is club music, right?
Yeah, and you know what? You're right. But if you think about it, it's a whole other show. If you want to get, I can't even get into all these other categories of house they're given now to legitimize calling it house music. So don't even get me on that.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that.
Yes.
But because I grew up in a home where it was the beats were deep, my mother, in her fro and her shorts and her dashikis, dancing in the kitchen or jumping on the bed, or my brother playing the box. The feeling of house music, soulful house, deep house.
Yes.
That's it. It comes from it. It comes from that. So it was natural that it felt good. And you hear people say house is a spiritual thing. It just is. it should be, if you aren't listening to something that somebody's calling house, and you don't feel something like you sitting up in church somewhere. I know you all are here to lead them to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that, it was natural. It wasn't like, oh my God, what's this? It felt like the music I'd grown up hearing. Through the rhythms, through the lyric, you are not downtrodden in house music. You're just
uplifted. Yes.
And it's your family. Like church, this is your family. And any club you can go to, any festival you go to, that if it's 50, 500, 5,000, 10,000, that energy that's house. It's just, that's, so it wasn't so much, let me find something to do. It just, when I was blessed to be invited into it, on the vocal side, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I never thought that I would do it because I'm thinking people are, they're not going to think of me doing that.
Talk about that.
That was my biggest thing.
Talk about that invitation. Like who invited you? What was?
Through my cousin Jason Ciali, Jay Sinister of Kings of Tomorrow.
Okay.
And he and Sandy, I was hanging with Jay just in New York. And, we went to see my aunt, and we see his grandmother's my grandmother's sister. So, we're hanging. He's like, let's have a session. He knew what he was doing. Because
he had a master plan.
Straight jazz.
Okay.
Like standards and traditional. I'm so random because I love that, but then I loved when I was with a live band just doing straight Janis Joplin, hard rock,
So were you performing in clubs and speakeasies?
With babies, I started raising babies at 18.
Okay.
So
yes.
That was the dream, but at that time we let the husband go do his. But then I was a mommy, but I knew when I would do it, that's the vision I had. It's going to be the band. It's going to be, standards. It's going to be, some Brazil, whatever I need to do. But when he brought me in, and it was finally, actually, it was I want you for myself. I want you for myself.
Yes.
We did that. And I said, which of course I dug. I said, oh, wait a minute.
Right. It was familiar. Yeah.
I love this. I can do this. So I loved that. And I said, okay. And then they said, we need a vocal on that. I said, all right, we'll do it. They wrote it right there. We're sitting. We sang it down a couple times. That was it. And I loved it. I said, oh, I did that. Now I'm thinking I'm doing a demo for them to shop. So they got me. And I said, oh, they were like, no, we got to answer back. And they were like, whoever's singing that, leave it like that. I was like, wait, what? And then that was the introduction to performing.
Okay.
Or to actually being a part of a project. And then it was just it. But them Kings of Tomorrow, their whole everything was just different. They had songs.
Yes.
And lyric and
structure.
Melodies and just so. I'm glad that introduction was through them.
And we're glad as well because the combination of their production prowess and your vocal gift has turned out some classics, right? Some epic releases. We're so thankful
I'm
for.
I'm thankful for them too.
And I, let this one segment of our discussion slip by, but you artfully described house music when you talked about it being a spiritual thing, something that has to be felt in order for you to really, know that it's house and to be moved by it. Talk about your experience on the dance floor listening to some of your songs being played. Have you experienced that?
I cry. I cry when I have to perform them. I am pitiful because the minute they start to sing, I can't. Ooh, it's just like it's like a big old hug. It's just you just feel it, and people tease me because they're like, "How are you nervous before you?" Because you want people happy, and you want them to have the experience that they feel when they hear it, and that's the reason it's their wedding song or their baby song or the song that people have used at funerals, and you always think, "Oh man, I want them to feel that when they're here." So there have been times because I hear different mixes, and then I don't know it's the song until I kind of hear me come. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And I do love hearing new mixes and stuff on it too, because that gives it a different life. But I don't know, when I hear it, it's still crazy to me, crazy. And they have to pull me off the floor. They're like, "Where is she?" I'm out. Leave the stage. Around. They're like, "You just can't get lost." I'm like, "What is a party?"
And so you got the party in you, but when you're performing at a festival, for example, and you're getting that energy from the crowd, talk about what that's like for you.
It's just I can't even explain it. It is the best. It's the best feeling. I'm like, this is how does this work? Who does this job? But I feel the same way when I teach my preschool babies too, because it's whatever that passion is, and I see their little faces and I see the people singing. They feel good, and you're helping be a part. You're not doing it. You're a part of that with them. So that comes back to you. It's the best feeling. But honestly, it can drain you.
How so?
It can because it's weird to explain, but like I said, even if it's a festival where you get thousands of people, or if it's a club scene, you can see the ones that party, but every few people, you see the one that's crying, or you see the one that's clearly heavy. You can see it. You can see it on them. You can feel it, and I don't know if other people do, but I'm kind of drawn to those. And it's like when they notice that I'm noticing them.
Yes.
You can just see their whole everything. They just soften. And somehow, I don't know, maybe this is my geeky grandmama coming out of me, but you feel like you take it from them.
Okay.
And because I'm a hugger, that's why COVID, oh man, if I could cuss it out like I've done before, it took that away from me because I could hug people.
Yes.
And I would try to make my way to them because I'm like, just let me have it. And you can feel it. You can feel it off of them. And their little body, just everything just drops. And so for me, you have all those elements, and that can be a draining part of it. But I think that's a part of why God gives us what we do and whatever it is, and however we help those people. It has nothing to do with me.
But it does, in that you accept the use of that gift in the way He intends, right? And that is to help others, in addition to elevating and just making magic through music. I tell you, both Finally and Diamond Life are certainly two of my personal all-time favorite songs. And it's because they do those things that you were just describing, right? They pull the weight off you. They talk about triumph over your circumstance. talk about what your contribution was in writing some of those songs, and whether or not, you know, the lyrics have some personal attachment to you.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I love being a part of the Kings of Tomorrow family with Sandy and Jay. They were the predominant producers, the writers, the DJs, but and I know it was a big connection I had with Jason as my cousin. They wouldn't just say, "Okay, here, listen, we got a thing, come in and sing it." But we were in the room together.
Okay.
So I would be able to say, "No, I would kind of say it more this way," or that doesn't really feel like that's this. So when you say collaboration, that's really what it felt like between your producer, your songwriter, your artist, to make it all one groove. Because a lot of times Jason would just come in and we'd look up, song is done. You know, he was bananas with songwriting and what he heard and how he put it together, and the relevance of how we were, what we were going through at the time. But they left it open enough for me to be able, you know, especially with Diamond Life. I was like, no, that sister wouldn't say that. She'd be more like, you know, watching her past lovers cry. But you know, I understand. But you can come on back in if you like. Let's all heal together. You know, they're like, okay, we got. So it just, everybody put their parts in. But I have to totally give the bulk of that creative energy on the production and songwriting side to that Kings of Tomorrow team. The two of them, if I pulled them out of hiding together, it'd be crazy. So I'm putting that out there right now.
We're getting good stuff here on Vintage House. For those who are just tuning in, we are speaking to the one and the only Julie McKnight, songstress for some incredible sustained hits like Home, Finally, Diamond Life. Talk about some of the other work that you've done from the past, the present, and maybe what's coming down the pipe.
Oh, let me see. I'll tell you what. Other than our KOT stuff, I've been blessed to, have the last few singles still here with Louis Vega, David Morales. That was fabulous, and that leads to what's coming up, because even though these songs, like Still Here, is almost 3 years old, and a lot of the newer stuff kind of gets lost.
Sure.
And I don't mind, that's fine, because it's not like I don't want to ever say, well, I won't ever perform the other ones because I have new things. No, come on. Every one of those songs have their season.
Absolutely.
These newer ones will too. So I don't, I will never be one that'll force the, new group. Folks will find them, or they're gonna come to the surface when they need to. But that was a blessing to do that song with the two of them, and to work with Roger Sanchez. This feeling. I'm giving y'all some nuggets because these are songs that are out.
I was gonna say this show is the opportunity as well to help
these are songs, but
reinvigorate.
I tell you, brother, they're all that. I mean, this feeling. I can't help dance with it. But then we've worked with. One of my favorite things to do is to work with unknown art DJs.
Okay.
And people are like, "Are you really answering it? It's me. I'm answering myself. Can I work with? Of course, send me things." And I've gotten some fabulous. I've just finished one. You have to excuse me if I have to take a minute to think, because this COVID brain is real. I don't have it now. I'm over it. But that COVID fog is a real.
It's real.
It takes a minute to try to. I'm like, I know I'm thinking of something. But the even newer things that we have, I said, so what we're going to do, this goes to what's coming up,
Okay.
is do a full compilation of everything, but it's going to be live. So we're doing that. So we'll have our old group, not our old group. It'll have our vintage groups, and it's going to have the newer ones that a lot of folks maybe haven't discovered yet.
Okay.
And we'll just put it all together in a family that they can just sit and listen to, and they can listen. I won't ever be the one that says, this is, there will never be another Finally, another Diamond Life, another Home, ever. I'm clear. But I think they deserve their spot, in this history. And I'm like, with these new ones, I'm like, we'll give the babies some more stuff to have fun with.
Absolutely.
So that's on the house side, but I'm also finishing it's a family compilation of things with, my brother Victor Brooks, my son Brian McKnight Jr., my baby boy Nico McKnight. We're doing just a fun. It's what we've always wanted to do. Everybody, my brother performs in Brazil, is his region, and he does what they call, samba soul. And it's exactly that.
Okay.
So
yeah.
He's there, and when I'm lucky, I get to sneak over and do his tour with him and do some background. And
that's hot.
So this new project with just with the family. Oh, now you talking about fun? People gonna be like, "What is happening?" But it's just gonna be fun and good stuff. We'll still have it, but it's gonna be. Already, you'll feel it.
We're absolutely sure to feel it, as the energy you're giving us tonight is definitely resonating. And in fact, one of our audience members, Vic Brooks, has been tuned in since the beginning of the show. Vic is
that's him.
He is curious to know, how did it feel when in 2000, right? So almost 22 years ago now, you received that Billboard Music Award for Finally.
That was crazy. And actually, that one was home because I had no idea.
Oh,
and
it was.
I started getting the calls and I was like, what? And I said, me? You don't even think. And truthfully, the reason is because now we're talking about early 2000s. If you weren't digging house, you didn't know about it. We weren't represented. We weren't getting Grammys. We weren't getting any of that. We weren't on the commercials unless it was the traditional ones we grew up with, who I am so grateful for, the Robin S's and, the
CC Penistons and
the CC Peniston.
Yeah.
My girl Sybil.
Yeah.
Honey, Jocelyn
Brown. Oh my goodness, yes.
Who anytime she comes out, we're all like,
bow down, huh?
I mean, because she's doing it, and but those were that's all we really knew. So for me to say, who's listening to me and who? And of course, it was international.
That's right.
Who I'm so grateful for my international family. I am. That's why I'm proud of us at home now, because we're like, wait a minute, we got to get our music back. So
talk to us. Yeah, you're taking us around the world. You've certainly taken us around the country. Vintage House is based here in Chicago, the birthplace of house music. Talk to us about the people in Chicago that have been either an inspiration or a collaboration, or at least the source of some information. You see what I did there?
All my brothers out who, just kind of skipping around me. I love y'all to death, but listen, Terry, where you at? I'm ready. No, I love all of them to death, and I'm grateful that we've become house family. it happened with being overseas. We would be on the same shows, whether it was,
Yes.
Terry had the whole shows with Ron Carroll. That that's who I was joined with, and it was usually only me, the girl, with the rest of them. So they became my brothers, and the advice they've been doing it forever.
Yes.
So the history I learned from them, because even though I loved house, I was so immersed in everything. So it wasn't like house is what I studied or jazz is what I knew I liked it, so I always took pieces of it. But when I started to get, I was able to be closely connected with the knowledge I would get from the DJs and the other singers. But strangely, my Chicago crew, I was never really there. I toured away, so I never could really be in the cities where the music came from. I couldn't. Only recently started to do in the past few years, performances in New York or in Chicago or DC or where I could be with my at home folk.
Yes.
I tell you anything you need to know about it, which broke my heart for a long time because, like you said, it originated in Chicago. So, I mean, it's sad that the history that I did receive was once I got in that scene.
Well, and we're working hard to change that, to build the narrative.
We're doing it.
And we appreciate that. And your contribution tonight, of course, just sends us to a whole nother level, of course.
And I'm still learning. I'm like, man, I have no idea. The more I'm there, the more I'm in it. The music they pull. You talk to some of the cats, even our brothers there in Chicago. They'll do sets. I'm like, yo, send me the playlist. I'm like, what song is that? Who is that? Where is that? Who is this? And they're like, you don't. I'm like, no, man. This is what I'm still learning. Because so when I'm out, if I'm doing a groove, or if I happen to be in, a city and I can go party, I'm like I'm everybody else there. I'm like, this is bananas. Sometimes I'll be like, man, Mike, this song is 35 years old. I'm like, what's happening? Because a lot of it we just didn't hear at home.
Yes.
Unless you were clubbing. And that's why I love my sister Barbara Tucker, who is the queen of the dance house movement and dancers and everything. Oh,
she brings it.
The information I get from her, man, it's just. I know she's sick of me. I'm just always like, and then what? And then what? And then what? But I'm still learning from it.
And that is the whole hope, right? That this genre is one that is sustained for generations to come. We're
it will be.
We're working hard to make sure the next generation knows it, lives it, loves it, experiences it, and not certainly the same way, because it has certain nostalgia for some of us, right? Some of us, it was part of how we came of age.
Right.
But for others, as you shared, it could be nostalgia associated with your first love, or when you got married, or funerals, or what have you. These life moments are very much tied to the genre. So for you, clearly you've had a great set of experiences, some of which you've shared with us, but life hasn't always been house and roses, as they say, right?
No.
This period of the pandemic has been challenging. Talk to us a little bit about how you've, stayed afloat, kept your head above the water, stayed the vibrant person that we have here tonight.
Well, first off, I'm blessed to. I'm here. We call ourselves my family of gypsies, but I'm blessed to, in my household, be with my mother, my father, my two little brothers, my brother, his wife, all under one roof. That's really all I've ever known is all of us. We are the Brown Walls. So that is a constant support system.
That's
and
awesome.
My
Yes.
brother Victor and his wife were living in LA, which we all migrate came here to LA from LA, and they recently moved here. So aside from not having my sons here, my nephews here, my grandbabies here, my daughter-in-law's here, I have a nucleus of family.
Yes.
My grandmother's here. So I always had that. We were here to support each other in that way. And outside of the home, like I mentioned, I'm a preschool teacher.
That's what you do in
I
between
never
singing,
stopped
huh?
working.
Okay.
I said no. I have to. The parents still needed it.
Yes.
I needed the kids because I'm like, what where else can you be and be so lucky that what you do is sing and use your imagination all day and color and influence lives and hug get hugs and so that my baby, my 2.5-year-olds, they were a saving grace too, and their parents, because the parents needed it. And everybody was frazzled, but my toddlers kids, man, they bring you into. They don't know what was going on in this world. They
Of course.
just know I partied. I did it. Or sing that again, and I was like, I will sing all day. I will color all day. I'll do blocks all day. Therapeutic, because the innocence and okay, we'll cry, we'll throw a tantrum. Listen, I'm done. I'm over it. Life moves on. That's what you take on. And they were there every day with that same energy, that same just purity about it all. So that they just filled me. So that's what did it. Now, it was difficult because shows are canceled.
Yes.
People are, how are we living? Artists, it was rough for artists, especially artists who may have not had a side hustle. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Who were counting on that year that the pandemic hit was a huge festival year. Huge festival year for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And all of a sudden done. 20, 30 shows gone. Overnight. And you may have, now it taught us all, it taught us two things, not to count on that, but the pandemic created a world of,
virtual
monsters, if you call it, for promoters and agents, because it showed many artists that, I survived for a year and a half. I'm good. Yeah. So, no, listen, we're going to renegotiate that.
Yeah.
We're not going to do business the same way, because clearly I'm going to be all right. The, arts community got together, the grants and the fundraising that happened to help artists just make it. They showed those, God bless the agents and promoters, but come on, that's a whole other thing too. We love them, but it isn't always a family.
Okay.
With the artists.
Sure.
So it gave the artists a little, we're going to be fine. And it also gave the other side a little bit, of a different vibe. So they understood, no, y'all, we do need them too.
Yes.
So I've seen a difference in that with upcoming things, and it's a positive thing.
That's a great takeaway from, certainly what has been life-changing for us all. We're normally in radio station studio WNUR. The opportunity to go virtual has allowed us to reach out across the country to invite other house artists into the Vintage House family. So we definitely understand, what you're expressing about what's changed. and so just looking into the Julie McKnight crystal ball, if you will, because we're not quite out of the pandemic just
No,
yet.
no, we're not.
What do you see as the future for the industry, and certainly for you, especially in an industry where this music is unifying, and particularly unifying on dance floors and in festival
Right,
fields and all of these places that
right.
large numbers of people come together. What do you see happening next, Julie?
Well, I see. You're right. House music. We're a family of people that need to connect and touch and be with each other and in close proximity. We like being together. So
Yes.
it was difficult for the house community, for me as a part of the house. I can't speak for all, to not be able to physically be with my house family. I'm grateful for the DJs that were doing the virtual grooves, and that we could dance at home in our dance parties.
Yes.
But I wasn't getting to sweat with nobody, and I wasn't smelling no incense burning. I wasn't no oils happening. I didn't have my brother with his percussion over here, or my sister with a tambourine over there.
Right,
And
right.
couldn't look over and look like, where does brother come flying through the air, dancing and twirling, and the sister. I got goosebumps thinking about. I didn't have that, and I didn't have the energy from it. So, but what I'm so excited about, I got to go back to my release family down in Charlotte. They're doing smaller grooves. They're being very conscious of where we are now as far as the COVID guidelines. They're making it make sense. And what's happening, my brother, is this.
Yes.
We're having to go back to that house, that real live house family feeling where you're in that darker spot. You in that, kind of groove. But no, let's go over here and party. Let's go over there and party. There's no cell phones on. There's no that. It's the crowd that has been missing that togetherness. They're creeping out, and they're able to do it in a smaller venue.
And yes, more intimate. Yeah.
Because we have to. So
yes.
I see that even with everything, I mean, that we're still going through, it's kind of we're having to go back to the beginning in many ways. We can't have 9 billion DJs do a groove at the fest. We just can't have it, whether it's ordinance or financially being able to, bring in those kind of grooves. But the people still want to party.
Absolutely.
So it's giving us that family groove again, where we know we're here, we know we're safe, we know we can party, we're happy to be back out. And so that's the positive side I see. Don't get me wrong, I dig a good festival, but man, nothing like you in the club for a house party.
Name drop some of the festivals. We won't put you on the spot and ask you to favorite any, but just talk a bit about some of the appearances that you made that were noteworthy. We'll call them.
I'm so grateful for my defected family, because initially they were the ones that would, let's have her come. And I was like, I will play on whatever stage y'all want. Is that the one behind that food truck? Got it. I'm good. But they were, you knew you were going to hear house music. And, they do what they need to do, and they kind of reel the kids in on a different vibe. And then they get there and they hear this tent that's some little more dancey. I'm like, well, what is that? So Defected was pretty much that was my main introduction to. So I always have them here. But I mean, the ones that bring us in, whether it's Proper Fest, I must say, never done a festival in the States. It's been overseas. So whether it's Love Factory or Proper Fest, you have the one this year. There's Hacienda. You've got those are the places I go that have been predominantly in the UK.
So I am going to work on helping to change that, particularly for Chicago, because we love festivals here in Chicago just as much as anyone else. We've got some incredible fests, Hyde Park, Summer Fest, Chosen Few, annual picnic. Someone usually watches this show from any of those organizations.
I must say, a lot of times I may have been gone, but I will say this, because of just wanting to. I want to do anything I'm doing anywhere else. I think a lot of times folks think, oh, maybe they won't come, or maybe they're not going to be able to be a film. And I've had this discussion with a lot of house singers that live here in the States, and we really only see each other away when we go overseas, and all of us are like, man, we're here.
Yes.
We're here, and we will cancel it out.
Well,
we thought, if we were home,
we will. We'll see about this phenomenon. Certainly, as things get better here in 2022 for us coming together. Absolutely, it will, and we're excited, so excited that you're continuing to share your gift in multiple genres. So you dropped some hints of what's coming. We're gonna definitely keep an ear and eye out for those. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been spending the evening with the one and only Julie McKnight. We've had some international audience members tuning in, sending hearts of love and appreciation for everything that you've shared with us tonight. Anything that you'd like to share with the audience, given the insights you've provided about how you got started, some middle part of that journey, certainly the things that led to these incomparable hits, and then you've touched upon the pandemic and its impact. What would you like to close out with, Julie?
You know what? If I have to leave anything with the family, it's just, we're doing it. We're making it. Those that even in our community that we've lost, a lot. Some that we almost lost, that folks don't even realize when they see them get up and they see them on their Instagram, they see them, why they may have been down low for a minute. It's because they were sick or they weren't well. I would want to leave with them that because you're listening to the music and it's making you feel good, even the issue of I'll be real, mental stability within our community as artists, physical well-being, spiritual well-being. It's hard for us in times like the pandemic because we want to keep everyone else encouraged. So it's hard. You don't ever want to come on and say, y'all, I'm just a mess. I can't do it. I